guys, welcome. Today we are discussing all the books that I read in March. I think I read in total 6 books. So I'm going to take you through all the books that I read one by one and give you my short reviews on them. Okay, so first I read 2 books in a series. The series is the Twisted series. I think it's very famous. The series has 4 books in it. I have currently read only the first 2 books in it. In the series, I don't know how I stumbled on this series. I don't know what I was in mood for. I just picked one and then I just picked the other one. So I read Twisted Love and Twisted Game. So I'll give you a review firstly of Twisted Love because that was the first book that I read. Okay, so the trope, if I have to explain it simply, the guy is brother's best friend and the girl is sister of this brother. So that is how the story is. So the brother's best friend and sister romance is what is happening in this. Now, additionally, how should I explain you the character? So the guy's name is Alex Volkov. He is somewhat this very gray character. And the girl is very happy-go, sunshine, lucky, sort of cheerful girl. And this is the story basically that goes on. Now, my opinion, when you see, first and foremost, this was my first time reading a book which had smut in it. So initially, I was very uncomfortable. It felt like I'm standing in somebody's personal space. And by the time I went to the second book, I was okay with it. But when the first book I was reading, it just went above my head. I could not wrap my mind around it, like what was happening when it came to smut. But storyline, I feel like given the character was so great, the guy character, I would like the guy is not the greenest of the green flag. So I didn't enjoy that sort of love story. So for that reason, I didn't enjoy the first book, which is Twisted Love, a lot. Okay, so then I read Twisted Games, which was the second book in this series. Mind you, by this time I had understood what Ana Huang was writing in the book. She was writing smuts and I was okay with it. But in the first book, initially, I was a little surprised and shocked at the same time. So now that I knew what I'm going for, I was okay with it. Now, this book, again, it is interconnected series. So the first story was about Ava, Twisted Love. Then Twisted Game is about Bridgerton. Bridgerton is again friend of Ava. So you get here and there parts about her in Twisted Love. So when I read Twisted Game, I knew that Bridgerton was a princess. Now this, the trope here is again princess and bodyguard romance. The book runs in 4 years. So I think the best part in this book was the yearning. There was nothing grey about the book. Like it felt really nice. The guy felt like a green flag in the best way possible. So I think Twisted Games was something I enjoyed more than Twisted Love. So the guy who's the bodyguard to this princess is Reese Larson, and the story runs in 4 years of yearning, wanting to be with each other, but at the same time they can't be because given the professionalism. So that was Twisted Games. Now after I finished this book, I read then I actually bought the book called The Women by Christine Hanna. I don't know why I always end up saying Christian Hanna, but no, this is by Christine Hanna, The Women. I got it on the occasion of Women's Day. I thought, I should buy something related to women, and this is the book I picked up. Now, Christine Hanna's book, what I understood, she writes a lot of historical fiction, and I feel like I enjoy historical fiction a lot. So this book actually discusses, and it is around the Vietnam War. And oh my God, like if I have to tell you anything about this book, the starting was so good. I mean, so nice. I enjoy, like I said, I personally enjoy historical fiction. Now this book is regarding a woman, a girl who goes as a nurse in the Vietnam War and her journey through the war. And the book is divided into 2 parts, so part 1 and part 2. Now, I won't tell you what part 1 is about and what part 2 is about. I think it will somewhat like give you a little more than like when I didn't know what part 2 has and what part 1 has, I was on the edge of the seat. So I am not going to tell you. But this book has 2 parts. I enjoyed, loved part 1. Part 2, not really. Because part 2 has a lot of decisions that this girl makes, which I did not like. So I enjoyed part 1. So it's basically about, again, like I said, this girl who comes from a very privileged background and she has done her nursing studies, and then just to prove like her family always encourages the men of the house to serve in the army and everything, but then she decides and thinks why a woman can't do it, and then she goes and enrolls herself into Vietnam War as a volunteer to be a nurse in the Vietnam War, and that is from where the story picks up. And then her journey. This book discusses friendship beautifully. The friendship of what was the girl's name? Her name was Frankie. Yeah, Frankie and the girls that she meets in the Vietnam, and the friendship that this book discusses friendship amongst the women also beautifully. So I think this is like a power pack book. It will give you everything, but I didn't just give it a 5 star because I didn't feel like few decisions that this girl was making were good. Like it was reckless at some point that I felt, so it annoyed me a little. So no, not 5 star from my side. Okay, then the third book, I thought I should try reading some short book and some short classic. I always try to incorporate classics, although I find it really difficult. I picked up White Nights by Fyodor Dostoevsky, and I know that it's a classic, and I think anybody who wants to try classic can go ahead with this book, or anybody who wants to try Russian classic or Russian literature can pick this book up. Now, this is, I think, under 200. Like, this book was literally easy to read, so relatable, and I think the hype of the book is also because of the fact that it is so relatable for everybody. So again, like I said, really short book, beautiful writing, and the story is narrated by the protagonist who is not named in the book. And then there's this girl that he meets. Her name is Nastenka, and the book runs amongst the 4 nights that he meets her. And it also describes about our protagonist, who is a dreamer, who likes to dream, who likes to be in his own world, and he's lonely. And I feel like this aspect of the book is what has made it so famous amongst every youngster today. Like everybody can relate to this character in some way or the other, and I think that's the beauty of the book. Now the story beautifully explains the mind and heart. Like I've written it, it explains beautifully the mind and heart of someone who lives in loneliness, and that is why I think it tugs the heart of every reader, because I was trying to understand that what is so special, and I feel like everybody relates to it in some way or the other, given what the protagonist feels and what he explains about himself. Of course, it's about unrequited love, the love that he feels for Nastenka, and the storyline, what Nastenka feels. So it is somewhat there that you get it. Okay, then I read again on my Kindle, Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. Now, this story discusses grief, loneliness, and also the old age. I felt like the old age was also an aspect in the book. I think a lot of people say that this book only discusses grief, but I felt like old age was something I like took a moment and thought about it. The lives after your children in whatever way, but that was also something that I felt like it discussed beautifully. Now the story starts with, oh, I've written this very beautifully, that I thought story starts with an octopus who lives in Soul Bay Aquarium, and his name is Marcellus. Now Marcellus starts by saying that the book starts by saying that 1,000 something days in captivity. Now, for Marcellus, who is an intelligent octopus, he thinks he's in captivity. He explains his days in this aquarium, Soul Bay Aquarium, as his days in captivity. While when you read the book, you understand that the manager of this aquarium, his understanding is very different. He has rescued Marcellus. So for him, it's not captivity. It's like a rescue operation that he ran. And that is how Marcellus is here. But for the mammal that he is, it is captivity for him, because he has been picked up from this huge ocean. And then in whatever way that you call rescue is not a rescue for him. It's a captivity for him. And then it also discusses about his relationship with Tova. Tova is a cleaner who comes at night in this aquarium and cleans, and it's like a special relationship between Tova and Marcellus, which is a very unsaid, but it's beautiful. And I think the special part about the book is Marcellus. I mean, 1000% you'll enjoy the book only because of this octopus at some point. Also, there's another storyline that runs, which is about Cameroon. Cameroon is again a guy who is on this journey to find who his father is, because his mother has abandoned him when he was a child. So now he somehow wants to know who his father is, and he's on this journey to find his father. So that is a different storyline that goes on. Then, of course, there's Marcellus and Tova together. And apart from that, now Tova is 70 years old. She's a cleaner. Her son has died and she's grieving her son's death. Also, like I said, the story of Cameron, mother has abandoned him, don't know anything about his father. Now, I would personally tell you, if you are interested in going ahead and reading this book, please pick up the audiobook. I remember this was available on Spotify as well at some point. I got it on Storytel, but amazing audiobook of this book. If you want to experience this book at the at max, you should go ahead and get the audiobook of this book. So yeah, that apart from this, I think I've said all the books. No, I've told you 5 books. Oh, and then I read Hunger Games, the first book from the Hunger Games, which is, again, I think it's a dystopian classic. Loved it, enjoyed it. It's young adult and it is so easy to read. Like, I was literally walking and reading it. I didn't need to put my mind too much there, given that it was dystopian. It just flowed for me in like such a short time. Now this is, again, like I said, fast paced writing, binge worthy. You don't need a lot of concentration as an adult to read this book. It is so easy. And if you enjoy dystopian, I mean, it's a must to read a book which started it all. And to give you a little context and the storyline, in case you've not even seen the movie and not read the book, so this is a dystopian classic. So the storyline starts with Katniss. Katniss lives in District 12. So every state, I would like to say, it's like state, but it's divided into districts. Katniss lives in District 12, and then it starts with her going to the forest, which is like a forbidden area for them, and she goes there to hunt, to get food, and then she goes on in the market, barter it out, get food for her family. So the living condition is not great in District 12. Now this is the Hunger Games season. In the Hunger Games season, you are supposed, when you have reached the age of 12 or 15, somewhere there, I think 12, when you reach the age of 12, from then, in all the Hunger Games season, you are supposed to put a chit of your own name, and then a chit is drawn out. One guy and one girl from each district is selected, and then they are taken on this Hunger Game where they play, and one guy and one girl is only who will survive from the game. So you have to go on killing each other to survive, and then whoever wins, they win the Hunger Games, all in all. So that is the whole concept of Hunger Games. Now the rich enjoys this, so that is why the Hunger Games exist. The rich, the upper class really enjoy, so then they get people who actually need the money, the resources for them to come and play this game. And whatever happens from District 12, Katniss is picked up, and then there's this guy Peter who's picked up for the Hunger Games. Thoroughly enjoyed Peter. Peter was like, I couldn't understand what is in Peter's mind. Is he what he is, or is he something else? So I think that like really interested me to understand Peter and to know him and to sort of get, okay, sorry, sort of to get like to understand what was going on in Peter's mind. Then there's this character called Haymitch. Haymitch is like a tutor, I would like to say, a tutor who is going on and teaching them how to survive the Hunger Games. So when the training is going on, there's Haymitch. Haymitch is somebody who has won the previous Hunger Game. So that is from where Haymitch has come into the storyline. But Haymitch is also equally lovely, like grumpy guy, but like is there. Now I know that new book has released recently, which is Sunrise of the Reaping, which is again Haymitch's story. I will get to it once I'm done with the series, but oh my god, the first book was so good. I don't know why I never read it. I mean, whatever. Now I also watched the movie, like Hunger Games. I feel like, again, the movie is a good adaptation, definitely, but the book has much more to offer. Like the book didn't the movie did not give a lot what was going on in Katniss's mind, what she was thinking, what was all that her mind was thinking every time she saw things, but the book delivers it really well. So I think, again, I think every reader says it was much better. So yeah, book was better, but it's okay if you watch the movie, that is also good equally. So yeah, I think I've discussed all the 6 books, which was Twisted Love, Twisted Games, White Knights, Remarkably Bright Creatures, The Woman, and Hunger Games, the first one in the trilogy. So yeah, that was all I read in March, and right now I'm in April. I have finished my year of rest and relaxation. I'm currently reading Daisy Jones and the Six and also The Secret History by Donna Tartt. So let's see what I finish, what I don't. Maybe I'll just start something else and you'll see review of something else that I never told you I was reading. So yeah, that happens, I think. So thanks for watching. Bye.